Hey, great Wednesday evening. It is a beautiful, awesome evening in the city of Brownsville. Let me say, uh, uh, I expected a little bit chillier weather because of what a beautiful, awesome evening in the city of Brownsville. It's a repeat. What the meteorologist had stated, but no rain. It was cloudy though for a little bit, so it was all in all a great day. And good evening, Rasa. And tonight we have the honor of having Irving with us tonight. Irving, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing all right.
And Irving is from this area at the present. You no longer reside at this area, is that correct?
I live in Portland, Oregon right now.
Portland, Oregon. Oh yeah, how's the
hmm
weather? Pretty cold, no?
it's actually pretty nice today. It usually is dark and rainy, but we're getting into spring, so it's getting better. We had some sun today.
It's crazy. And did y'all go through the mess of weather that we went through like 4 weeks ago?
I mean, my family still lives in Brownsville, and we were having the same exact weather, like temperature wise. Um, so that tells you how cold it was in Texas. Um, so yeah, it was pretty gnarly. We actually had some snow, which is
Did
great.
But up there, I guess up there, y'all didn't have the same situation that we had to deal with in regards to the power outages that we had throughout.
No,
It's nada.
I mean, a place like Oregon is prepared to handle surges of electricity and energy because it's pretty common to get pretty cold over here.
Oh yeah, and I guess y'all are more used to colder weather than us folk here in Brownsville.
hmm
A good evening. See you in the morning. Yeah, see you in the morning for that zucchini bread. The stuff's amazing. Good evening, Alea. Good evening. Good evening. That's what a crazy day in Brownsville. Fires, car crashes, and similar checks key in the bank. Yeah, if y'all saw something, and before we go into the topic that Erin we were talking about, yeah, it was a crazy afternoon, man. For some reason, guys, there was accidents happening, fires going on all over the place here in the city of Brownsville. Put up the videos, guys. My prayers go out to the family. Apparently, a young man lost his life in one of those accidents, the one on 802. Guys, my prayers go out to him. People that were there stated that there was some racing, and just the way that the car was inside the property of that home on 802. It didn't look good. So yeah, prayers to everyone out there involved in that horrible accident. It's just been one of those weird days. It, uh, we'll talk about the stimulus checks after a bit. Uh, because I don't want to take up too much of Irving's time. One of the posts that Irving and I were dialoguing in, I think was it yesterday or 2 days? No, yesterday, right? Tuesday.
I mean, it's been it's been like 24 hours of a thread.
it's
Um,
it's crazy. Was it Monday or Tuesday? I honestly don't remember.
Today's Wednesday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Yeah, and Tuesday I usually am in Matamoros, and I think that's when we were going back and forth. Guys, one of and it came out actually in the Herald today again in regards to the individuals that are coming across, mostly children at this point in time, and it was reported in the Herald in regards to the number of individuals that have come over since October, and if unless the Herald misquoted the number, it's 70,000, 70,000 that have migrated or moved up from countries outside the United States. What's your take on that, Urban?
Quite honestly, from my experience, just a background, I used to work in the industry. I used to work down there with the immigration population. My wife still works in the industry for a national organization. She's an expert in immigration law, and I learned from her, and I learned from my experiences. I have a political science degree from A&M, and so I'm pretty experienced on this. I will say this is normal. A
Yeah.
surge like this is normal. It's been happening for years throughout this decade. Um, so this is something that is being hyped as an immigration crisis, which is not because it's so normal. And for data and statistics, this surge started in April of 2020. So it didn't start this month. It's been happening for a year, even after Trump's administration's policies where he was separating children from families. So to me, this is something that's not abnormal. The CBP and all the infrastructure that's there, it's always being overwhelmed. Um, so it's not a surprise. It's more of a humanitarian crisis than an immigration crisis.
Well, one of the things that I think that again, this is what came out in the Herald today, was that the same time last year, we had like 20,000 individuals crossing over. Right now, it's up to 70, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot. I mean, and it was measured at the same amount of time. I think a lot of the concerns of a lot of the folks down here is that the things that differentiate us now to last year was that right now we are maybe towards the end of a pandemic, so it's bringing in more individuals when we're trying to actually space out amongst ourselves. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement in the sense that this time last year, it's March. Like I said April 2020 when the surge started last year, even after the pandemic hit. So if you're measuring from March to March, it's going to be different. If you if you see the chart from April to now, it's all going up. So I understand that for March it was different than this March, but I'm talking April to now, even after a pandemic hit. So I understand the concern in that you have people coming over, and the media is saying that people are coming over, and the media is saying that there's an immigration crisis, and we're at the border. Um, but there are proper steps being taken as best as possible given the time frame and given the Biden administration hasn't been in office for very long. The Trump administration destroyed all the infrastructure available to the Biden administration to be able to do what they need to do. So they're having to rebuild everything at once. So I understand the concern in that there's people coming over. There might be some people that have COVID, but it does not surpass the number of people in the Valley, for example, or in Texas that have COVID. So that was why I responded to your post, because it sends the message that these people are bringing COVID when people in Brownsville don't have COVID, for example, which is not true.
God, no, you're absolutely right. Actually, one of the things that I've been concerned with, and we agree, one of the things and I actually posted it something today where I was doing a side by side in regards to the number of COVID cases that are being reported here locally. And I honestly don't understand, Irving. I don't understand why we are getting such faulty numbers when it comes to the positives, the cases here in Cameron County. And I did a side by side comparison of Cameron County with Hidalgo County. I mean, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Brownsville, we had like 12, and Brownsville is the largest city in Cameron County, while Hidalgo County reported like 673 positives. I mean, we reported less than 100. I mean, how does that make sense to anyone down here? And I agree. I think one of the things is that the way that our numbers have been counted, and it's really hard for us down here to actually trust the numbers anymore, because they really don't tell us much of anything in regards to the positives. The number that we threw out there actually came from the 6%, 6.3% that the mayor had mentioned in regards to individuals that had tested positive in regards to the numbers that they were reporting of individuals coming in, which again, I mean, is it an accurate number? I mean, can we trust the numbers? Or what did the numbers tell us, Evan?
I trust numbers coming from the government. My brother works for the government. I understand that this is not an easy task. There are people working on these things that do the best they can. And the only reason not to trust it is because of people that spread misinformation. So that's the reason why people don't trust the numbers. So I personally do trust the numbers, and I trust the process, and I give the government full credit for doing the job that they can do with the time that they have, with the resources that they have.
Well, so you think that you do trust that Cameron County numbers are correct, while our county next door is reporting 20 times more?
As much as they can be.
Okay, I guess. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why most of us here in Brownsville have a distrust to the numbers is because the numbers are incorrect. And I'll give you one example. uh, one of the conversations that we had with the funeral directors here in Brownsville. This is just in Brownsville. We were reporting 3 deaths during a weekend. Went to the funeral homes because the numbers just didn't seem right, and the funeral homes were stating that there were 75 deaths.
I mean, again, Erasmo, I'm here to talk about immigration. I don't know exact numbers of Bronzeville. I don't know exact numbers of how processes are working down there. All I can tell you is that they're doing the best they can. They're doing the work that they need to be doing, and I will trust what the people in your community are trying to do the best of their ability. And I don't see a reason to mistrust the numbers coming from the county. There's no malicious intent here. So I think
Oh,
that we need to trust our government. We need to trust the people who are working there because the people, they're your next door neighbor. They're not anybody malicious doing anything wrong. So I think that we need to stick to the immigration thing here. And when it comes to COVID and when it comes to the numbers and the surge and the policies that for example, the Trump administration were implementing before Biden came in.
well, the reason we were talking in regards to the numbers is because those are the numbers, and I was trying to respond to where the 218 had come by. This came from the city of Brownsville's numbers in regards to the 6.3% that they were reporting, which again, again, most of us here in the city of Brownsville do not trust the numbers because
I
time.
wouldn't say most. I wouldn't say most.
Well, I'm going to still say most people here in Brownsville that I've spoken to have said exactly the same thing. It's kind of
And
hard to.
and that it has when people in your circle might not trust, people in other circles might. So I think that that's a big generalization.
That's that's
And
a
I would say let's stick again to what we know, the facts, the numbers, and nothing else. Not speculation, not nothing. Only things that we do know.
Oh, well, that's why I shared with you that we did count 75 deaths when they were reporting three. So, I mean, you can't.
Sometimes it takes a couple weeks to report because it's a process.
Yeah,
So it
they
takes a couple weeks. It's a little bit prolonged process. So it does take some time to report the accurate numbers.
those were. But if we're to trust the government, then going back to your point, then why didn't we trust the Trump administration numbers when they were giving us numbers?
I, like I said, Erasmo, when I'm talking about the immigration stuff.
Well, during Trump's immigration policies, why didn't we trust Trump's immigration policies?
What did we not trust about Trump's immigration policies?
Oh, so we did trust the immigration policies and the
Says
numbers.
who?
Huh?
Says who says that?
Well, you're saying that we should trust government's numbers.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Who says we're not trusting the numbers that were under the Trump administration?
So the numbers during Trump's administration were accurate then.
I can't say they weren't.
Okay, that's fair. So in regards to Trump's policies, in regards to having individuals, wait across the river, wait in
Hmm.
Mexico, was a okay policy or was it not a good policy?
It was an inhumane, xenophobic policy.
But it was the law.
He could do a lot of things when it comes to immigration. He has a lot of power, or he had a lot of power when he was in office.
So we
The
trust.
standard of practice when it comes to immigration and people coming from, say, Central America, just people who don't know, Mexicans who are crossing the border, undocumented, who get caught, they get sent back to Mexico right away. That's the law. People from Central America, they're not part of a contiguous state or geography. Say they're not Canada, Mexico. They get processed by CBP and they get sent to shelters and then they get sent to the family. Adults get sent to, say, for example, Port Isabel. They have a different process than kids and families, for example.
Okay.
If it's
Well,
just men or people that were by themselves, they get sent to Port Isabel.
all right, well,
Um,
let's go to the numbers then. Uh, President Biden and his administration have stated that 90% of the individuals that are coming do not qualify for the amnesty program. So are we?
where did you read that?
Actually came out in a report yesterday.
And what amnesty program are you talking about?
Well, they stated that 90% of the individuals that were coming do not. So can we trust the numbers they're given, even given by Biden administration, in regards to the individuals requesting amnesty?
You mean asylum?
Oh, asylum, amnesty, whichever,
It's not
whatever.
the same thing.
No, okay, amnesty.
I'm gonna stick to asylum because amnesty is not something that is done
I,
when it comes to the people coming in. It's asylum. People are requesting asylum for the most part.
okay.
Um, so the numbers who, I mean, if you're reporting that somebody in the media that is trusted is reporting those numbers. I'm not going to dispute them. What I'm saying is, when you asked me about the policy of Trump, I'm telling you that it's a xenophobic policy, and I was explaining to you the processes that have happened under a regular administration.
Okay, that's so. The Trump's numbers were good. Biden's numbers are good. Then, if we are to trust the numbers in regards to people coming over for asylum, we know that they're not going to qualify for asylum because they don't meet threshold in regards to some of the guidelines that are specified in regards to why they are seeking asylum. It's not an immigration.
We can't say that. Everybody has the right. Any undocumented immigrant coming from Central America has the right to request asylum, to ask for asylum. That means that when you request asylum, you go through a process. You go to court, immigration court. And if you go to immigration court, you fight your case, and that takes time. While they're here in the United States, they're given permission to work, they pay taxes. So that's the process when it comes to asylum. You go to port of entry, request asylum, they'll process you, send you to a shelter, send you to whoever you're going to in the first place. If you are crossing, say, the border and you get apprehended, you can say you're going to request asylum. You are sent to the same process. So there's nothing different here. And whether or not they qualify or not, it's for the immigration judges to decide, and that takes time. Everybody has the right to request for asylum. There are specific parameters to request asylum, and you have to prove your case, just like anything else here in the United States. So that is an actual process that happens. We can't say yes or no whether or not the new people coming in actually qualify or not. That's for them to fight and to fight in court.
So, do you think that when it is reported that a large number of the individuals that need to show up for court don't show up for court?
It happens from time to time. There are specific numbers when it comes to that. I mean, that happens.
So what do we do? Do we send them back once we find out that they haven't gone to their court case?
That's not for me to decide. That's for the government to decide whether there's practices on there in when it comes to ICE, when it comes to CBP, when it comes to immigration policies. That's for immigration to decide.
So, but
Biden sets the tempo. So if there's a criminal history, for example, or something severe like that, then maybe if they're found, they may get deported sooner than other people. It just depends on the tempo of, say, the Biden administration puts, the policies that they make, and whether or not they're a threat to society.
So you do agree that people that do not meet the threshold for asylum should be sent back, should be deported?
Whatever the law says, I
Well,
agree in the sense that that's what needs to happen right now. Nothing has changed. The law tells you what needs to happen, and the processes need to be allowed to happen and trusted. That's what I'm saying.
so what's to stop anyone and everyone out there from asking for asylum into the United States?
Nothing. The process, they go through the process, and that's what happens.
So we should open up the borders and let anyone from anywhere come in if they want.
That's not what I'm saying. The border is not open right now. Just FYI.
No, I said
the border is not open.
Well, I said we
The
should.
borders. Nobody's saying to open the border. This is the normal. Whatever happening now is the normal processes, the normal things that are happening in the past several years, the past decade.
No,
So
but
nothing is different.
So people coming in from anywhere in the world that want to come in, should be, given a court date and should be.
That's what happens if they request asylum. Yes.
We're gonna have a lot of people coming to the United States.
I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. This is again, what's happening now. It's normal. Actually, last year, when was it? 2019. In 2019, during the Trump administration, that was the highest number of immigrants coming into the country.
No, sir.
Ever.
Not according.
Since 1940.
Not the court.
So yes.
Not according to the numbers that came out yesterday and today. I mean,
what I'm talking about is the yearly numbers of immigration of people who come into the country in 2019 at recorded history.
No, sir.
It's been the largest number of immigrants coming into the country since the 1940s. Well, I have the data, and I'm telling you what I know.
The numbers came out today. I mean, anyone here in Brownsville could go look at the Brownsville Herald. It's online. And the numbers there.
I'm talking about millions. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about the yearly number. So the number in 2019 that we know of was the highest number of immigrants coming to the United States, and that was under Trump.
The Brownsville Herald disagrees with you because the Brownsville Herald today mentioned that back then it was 20 some thousand and now it's 70,000.
I have internal numbers, Erasmo, and I'm telling you what I know from
So,
internal data that shows that in 2019 it was the highest spike of immigrants coming into the country.
so the numbers are wrong here. The ones that the
I don't
Brownsville,
know. I don't know what numbers you're talking about. If you show me that 1 million people came in today
oh, we
or
shouldn't.
this month, then fine. But what I'm telling you is yearly number, not a monthly number, not a weekly number.
No, this is a yearly number. This classifies. I think it's like a 9 month period. I'll bring up the article if you want me to, but
That's fine.
it's their article.
There's going to be a spike. There's been a spike since last year, so the spike is continuing. There's a surge since 2020. There's no reason to deny that there are a lot of people coming into the country and requesting asylum and waiting out their turn, whatever.
So then,
It's happening, but it's normal. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a
no,
normal thing.
what the Brownsville Herald pointed out today was that it wasn't normal. That back then, a year ago, it was like 20 some thousand. Now it's 69,000.
Okay, what I've already explained that this surge started happening in 2020 April, not March,
And
April.
they're
So
also
next month, last year.
that's not what the Brownsville Herald report. Again, that's why I don't.
Fine, whatever I'll look at the whatever they reported. If they
And that's
reported March, fine. I'm saying
and that's
April to now, there's been a spike.
see, that's one of the reasons why we don't trust the numbers because again, they don't
I don't
make
know
sense.
what you, again, Erasmo, I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to trusting numbers. If it was March, it was March. The surge, what we're talking about, what happened in the post, the numbers that you put, I'm talking about April to now was a surge. People think and are confused, misguided, thinking that this is caused by Biden. It wasn't caused by Biden.
I don't
It's
think.
been happening since last year.
Well, I
And
don't
that's
think.
part of the narrative that I wanted to talk about because of the post that I'm seeing on your post. A lot of people are misguided and don't understand what's happening and think it's Biden's fault. And I want to
Well,
say on the record that it's not true.
well, let me say that Biden's rhetoric in regards to a lot of the language that he used, he's actually scaled back on. He's actually came on with George Stephanopoulos yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and basically, drew back his language. He started to make mention, say, "Hey, you know what, guys? I said, no, stay home, stay in your towns, stay in your cities, do not come."
Yeah.
But he felt the need to scale back the language because, according to George Stephanopoulos' question, was that this is what you stated, and this is a part of the reason why a lot. He says, "No, let me clarify." He said, "Let me clarify." Maybe it was just that Biden hadn't clarified his stance, but he clarified. He stated, "Do not come. Do
The
not come."
reason why the reason why that's happening and what's been that's the message right now of the Biden administration is because there's a humanitarian crisis. Because CBP is not equipped to handle this amount of people coming in. They never have been. It's been a
Exactly.
problem for a long time.
Exactly.
And
They've
the
never.
Trump administration gutted the processes, gutted asylum processes. They gutted aid to Central America. They gutted a lot of things that made things possible to work like they've always worked. So the
Yeah.
Biden administration has had to fight the current place by the Trump administration, bad current. So
Yeah.
that's why they want people not to be traveling right now because there's a humanitarian crisis at the border, not an immigration crisis, a humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, this administration we trust is not as transparent as you claim. Just look at our city's charter, 100%. Again,
I mean, you added that. I don't know why you added that, Erasmo. There's nothing. There's no reason why you should do that.
no, I'm just reading her comment. What I'm saying in regards to Biden's
I
comment,
see.
he's scaling it back because of the numbers of individuals that are.
There's not a scale back because he never said people come. If you could find
It's
a,
true.
quote where he's saying, "Hey, immigrants from Salvador, come."
I'm sorry that
He never said that.
that was part of actually a lot of the promises that were made during
If
his.
you could find me a quote that says "People from Salvador, come," I'll believe you.
All right, if I can find it real quick because I know you're short of time, you want me to send it to you?
Sure.
Uh,
What he might have said was, we're going to teach you humanely, and we're going to have the processes work as they used to work.
I'll get it for you. I don't want to waste your time. Este, uh, I'll look for it and I'll send it to you because I know for a fact that part of his platform was start opening borders.
None of that is true.
Okay, we'll see. I'll get it for you.
No, no, it's not. We'll see. I know it's not true. So
Well,
that people know it's not true. There's no open border situation. That's a lie. That's
but
a
you,
right wing talking point. That's a lie.
we'll look for it. Oh, again,
You don't have to look for it. I'm telling you. I know these things.
let, let,
It's a lie.
let me do a little reading. Let me do a little reading. What an attitude! Who's this character, and what rock did he cover? Who is this gentleman? He seems upset. He's not upset. Let me tell you. I think Irvin is not upset. He's just very passionate about his
For those
family.
who don't know me, I used to work in the immigration down there when it comes to helping kids at the shelters.
Awesome, man. Greatly appreciate it. Who is this guest tonight? Again, Irvin Alberto?
Uh
Alberto?
huh.
Alberto Irvin. He is right now in Oregon from Brownsville, from this area. And again, sharing his stance in regards to the immigration issue. He's actually been involved in the process. And I think his wife is also currently involved in the process. Is that correct?
Yes, man.
Can't trust the numbers, and we don't count what you can't see or how many get across. Swimming, human trafficking, stash houses, illegal, hidden, in traders, etc. Let me say, I think that it's very, very hard to get an actual count in regards to the numbers out there. It's just very, very difficult. Again, I think one of the things that I did read in regards to the ICE officers or Homeland Security was that they were overwhelmed.
That's true, and that's always been true.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Government numbers are best up to date as they can be. No way they are accurate. Day of. Yeah, yeah, and that's a great point. And let me say, guys, one of the things that we saw throughout this pandemic and through a lot of the situations was that it's really, really very hard. And something that I'll agree with Irving is that, our local health department, Cameron County Health Department, did the best they could. They did do the best job they could. Our city health department, they did the best they could with the resources at hand. I mean, was it a great, great job? No. And again, I'm going to state that it mostly because of the different resources out there that we don't have that we desperately need. And hopefully we'll get now that, we are scheduled to receive a good amount of money. Irving, anything else? Or you want to stay with us while we talk about the other stuff or anything else that you want to
I
share?
mean, but I mean, we had some things happen in that post that I do want to address. There are a lot of people talking about a lot of things that are not true. What I'm here, the main reason I'm here is because there was misinformation being said. All right, and I'm always against that as just my morality, and being a part of the community in Brownsville, I'm seeing that a lot on social media, being false information about Biden, false information about immigrants. And one of the topics that I did see that I have been talking to some of the people that are responding is that people are using the term illegal. Now, the reason why I said it's a slur is because it's a derogatory term used to dehumanize immigrants who are coming from Central America, particularly when it comes to the region. And a slur is just that, a derogatory term to dehumanize, to cause fear, and to spread hate. And that's why it is now considered a slur. And that's why I responded to a lot of these people using the word, including yourself. And I wanted to clarify that because that's an important part of what's happening now when it comes to changing language, even in the government. So the government is actually taking out that language and replacing it with more humane language. So it's not just me saying something because I'm a leftist liberal. It's because that's what's happening and that's the truth. And that's how it's being used. Not just in the Valley, not just in Texas, everywhere. So I wanted to clarify that. That was one of the points reason why I'm here.
Well, again, one of the things that we experience on a daily basis is individuals coming into this country by large numbers illegally without the proper documentation. They do,
Again,
right.
again, this passing through without documents is not a crime. It's a civil offense. It's a civil offense. It's not a crime. These people don't go to jail.
Still
Right?
illegal. It's still illegal.
It's a civil. But when you use the term illegal, Erasmo, you're dehumanizing these people who are all only trying to come for a better life. That's why, for example, when I use the term, the reference to the Jewish community using a slur,
it's an offense.
it's become a slur. It's an offense. It's an offensive
it's a word that
term used to dehumanize people coming into the country for a better life.
describes an action. Let me say that again. Then, if we're going to permit everyone to enter the country, then why even have the law? Why?
Nobody's permitting anybody to come undocumented. That's a lie. That's not true. It happens. It's happening for a long time. It happens. It's been happening since the birth of this nation. There's nothing. There's nothing abnormal,
And it's
right?
illegal to cross the border without documentation.
It's a civil offense to cross undocumented,
A
right?
civil offense is still illegal.
What I'm saying is the word illegal has become a slur,
Well,
correct?
right. In this,
It might not be true for you, but the government is actually changing the language. People are starting to realize that this is an actual slur because of the fact that it dehumanizes immigrants, children, babies,
they're not
the people that serve you in torterias, like it's people
they're
in
not
your community that you're using language to
an immigrant into the United States.
dehumanize them.
Now, an immigrant into the United States. See, for some reason, y'all are hell bent in calling them immigrants. They're not immigrants.
Yes, they are, sir.
They crossed the border illegally.
They're
Immigrants for
immigrants. If you come from somebody like somewhere like Central America, China, wherever, and you come into this country, you're migrating. The thing you're doing is migrating from one country to the rest, to the next.
no.
That makes you a migrant or immigrant.
Well,
So I don't
let me
understand why immigrant is not a word for you to use.
I'll explain it to you. One of the reasons why a lot of us, have a certain reservation in regards to people coming over illegally, is that a lot.
Undocumented, sir. I'm going to ask you to please use that word.
Call them
It's offensive.
I'll call it illegal. I'll call it illegal is because our parents and our grandparents and our relatives, they went through a process, and
Not everybody's. Not
abide.
everybody's.
Well,
Family members, friends,
I'll
people
speak.
you know. Not everybody.
I'll speak for mine. They went through a process, and even individuals that with the and one of the programs that I completely support is the DACA program. I'm all in favor of the DACA program for individuals that have come over into the United States and
It's good.
been here illegally out of no fault of their own. Sure, let's help individuals out because that's what United States is all about. But
Mm-hmm.
individuals who come into the country, and again, the reason I approve of the DACA is because these children had no knowledge of what was going on when they were being brought over. That's different, in regards to their parents. I don't think that parents should be given amnesty, which not asylum.
I'm not, there's no amnesties here talking about. Nobody's talking about amnesty here
We've had amnesty. Actually, we've had two amnesties
right
under
now. Right
Ronald Reagan,
now,
under the Ronald Reagan era. Let me tell you, if they want to establish another amnesty, I'm all for it. Just put it in the books. Make sure that it's legal. But anyone coming across the border without the proper documentation to cross the United States is illegal. They're not
there's a
going
process. There's a
not
process that has always been in place.
the process that individuals that all our family had to go through. They had to go through an American consulate in the country that they're at. They get their
Some did.
and
Some
their
a lot of the majority of people who are here undocumented or illegally, if you want to use that term to describe these people, are people who actually had a travel permit, came who a legal travel permit came to the United States and overstayed their permit. That's the majority of people who are here without proper documentation.
once they come into the country with a it's a B2 visa. Once they come into the country, yeah, they're here as visitors. It's a legal stay in the
But
country.
what I'm saying is the majority of people who are here without documentation are people who
Once they
use that
once
travel
they
visa
over,
to
once they
stay here in
well,
the country.
once they overstep the time that they're supposed to be here, then they're here illegally.
They're here undocumented.
Well, you see, it's just a word.
It's not just the word. I mean, do you agree with my description of the word of a slur and why it's used as a
You
slur?
know what? No, because we've become so sensitized that any
No,
little
no, no. I want to ask.
they are
Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question? Whether
they
do
enter.
you agree? Oh, the definition of a slur.
Anyone that enters this country without the proper documentation has entered illegally.
I came here for answers, Erasmo, and I want you to answer my question. Do you believe the definition of a slur that I
No,
described?
I don't.
How is that it's
I
just I'm
don't
talking about a
because
slur,
then
not the word illegal. I'm talking about a regular definition of a slur.
what happens, Irvin, is at the end of the day, everything starts to change because everything becomes offensive to you all. Everything, and then all of a sudden,
What not to me, not just to me. It's
words
not,
out there.
I work with these
So now
people.
we
I
have to
work with all
everyone,
this vulnerable
everyone
population. So
has
I
to be
think that you need to respect that.
and make sure that you don't say this word, you don't say this word, because all of a sudden they've become offensive. But
What I'm asking, Erasmo, is that the
I,
regular definition of a slur is what I described, and people
that
use that word that you're using
have not
to
become a
describe people who are coming here
not describing the
for a
word.
better life. Yes, you're using the word for
Anyone
that
who
purpose.
enters the country without proper documentation has entered illegally. They are
Has
here
entered
illegally. They are
undocumented.
no.
Undocumented.
Well, you can use whichever word you want. I can
I'm
respect.
using the proper term
No,
because the word illegal has become
to
a
you,
slur.
that
Not
is
to me,
you.
to the
And
government, to the new government that's in place now.
I don't look, bro. I don't mind that you call it. They're undocumented. You can call it anything you want. It doesn't
Well, no,
bother.
okay. I
I
want to
don't
simplify this real quick. I want to
the
just simplify it because we're talking over each other. All I'm asking is please look up the definition of a slur. That's what I'm using. Look at
yeah.
how people are using the word illegal, and
Every other
then
word
try
is
to
a slur to you all, guys.
critical think your way into understanding what I'm saying.
Every other word becomes a slur to y'all, and everything becomes
Not every word. That's
yeah.
not what I'm saying.
We don't
That
even
is
know
not what I'm saying.
anymore because we have to always refrain to make sure that we're not hurting your feelings. But let me tell you, Irving,
Nobody's hurting my feelings. I'm saying the
oh,
victims here are people who are undocumented, who
on
are
that,
dehumanized,
you're the
who are
only one that
dehumanized
came
by
out
rhetoric
to be a very
and by
upset.
misinformation.
Everybody, I mean, and you were trying to get Aaron and me upset. Aaron's a friend of mine.
Aaron's
And
more my friend than your friend.
ah,
Let me tell you.
more power to you then. But Aaron's a friend of mine. But it was like, oh yeah, let's fight this out. It's not a fight, and
Nobody's trying to fight. What I'm
know,
trying to get is answers.
that
You haven't
Aaron
answered my question.
is an
You haven't
immigrant.
answered Aaron's question.
I know that Irving works with an immigration attorney. Great, more power to him. I mean, I like the guy. We've had a lot of conversations, dialogues. But you seem to be very, very upset, and I'm
No,
sorry
no,
that
no. There's a difference.
sorry.
I'm passionate about people spreading misinformation and lies
And
and
I'm
hate and fear about
cross-
immigrants coming into the country, which
it's not
is the post that you did
it's
is
not a
doing.
to say that anyone that crossed the river without the proper legal documentation is illegal. Proper legal documentation. They are
You don't
here.
have to call them illegals or illegal immigrants
I'm
because it is used as a derogatory term.
going to continue to call them illegal because that's what they are. They entered
What they
illegally.
are, there are people who don't have documents to come
They're
into the country.
illegally.
Period.
100%.
You don't have to use the word illegal. You don't
I'm
have to. You're using it because it's been commonplace, but I'm explaining to you why it's become a slur.
I'm
If
going to
I don't understand why you don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it. I'm going to continue to use it.
But
People
why? What I'm asking is why you don't you agree with it? Even though I
because
explained to you what it means.
anyone that entered this country without the proper legal documentation entered illegally.
What telling you is that the word has become a slur because it is used to dehumanize the
And to
people coming
all the
into
other
the country. Is
all the
that incorrect? Is that
liberal left.
no, no, no. I'm asking a simple question. Is that an incorrect statement?
Yes, let me tell you, because
How is that an incorrect
not
statement?
us folks here in Brownsville, Texas, that have to
The
deal.
world is not revolve around Brownsville, Texas.
You're in Oregon. You're in
The
Oregon.
world does not
You're in Oregon.
revolve around Brownsville, Texas. So what I'm asking
For us, it does
is,
because we live here. We're
yeah,
the
and
ones
what
that
I'm saying is people down there, just like yourself, use the word as a dehumanizing term.
we're here. We get our resources taken away from individuals that come to this country
What
illegally.
resources? You pay taxes?
Do we pay taxes?
Do you pay taxes?
Oh yes, 100%.
So what resources are being taken away from you?
Well, a lot of the resources. I mean, let me tell you,
Like
we have a. Do you know we have a homeless problem in the city of Brownsville?
we have a homeless problem here too.
No, we're not talking about Oregon. You can live out in Oregon all you want. We're talking about
But that's not what that is not the issue we're talking about. What I'm talking about is
I don't
using
see
rhetoric to
I don't
spread
see
fear
illegals
and to
going to
spread
Oregon.
hate.
I don't see illegals going to Oregon knocking on y'all's door out there. They're coming to Brownsville, Texas, Irving. That's why
The
we're
people who are coming here to Oregon are being sent by CBP, or being sent by shelters, or children, the ORR, are being sent to their families here. Okay? So I think the fear mongering that you're trying to spread here is why I'm here.
I
This
mean,
is why I'm here, Erasmo.
people here in Brownsville, Texas, we live it. People in
I used
Oregon
to live in Brownsville. My family still lives in Brownsville.
live it.
Brownsville is one of the safest places to live in the United States. That's on record.
No, not
One of the
according.
safest.
We
That's one of the safest.
actually the numbers just no. Sir, I'm sorry. The numbers just came out. We're the 12th most miserable city to live in.
Miserable is not safe. Don't twist what I'm saying. What I'm saying is safe,
Let me finish.
safe, not miserable.
Can I finish? Partially because of the per capita, the lack of economic development, and because of the high levels of crimes that are committed here. The most miserable city to live in. This came out number 12 in the whole United States. Unlike Oregon, we have a crisis going on.
Oregon.
And you know what? It's kind of funny because even now they're calling, even the federal government is starting to call it a crisis themselves.
What crisis?
Well, they're starting to call it an immigration crisis.
The media is calling it an immigration crisis.
Well, yes, y'all's
Not
media
the government.
and
No,
these.
no, there's no y'all's media. I'm not here to allow you to say it's my media or the liberals' media or anything like that, because that's
Well, you
again
call
spreading
yourself
misinformation. You're spreading misinformation. You're spreading lies. And
you
you're not spreading the
call
truth.
yourself a liberal.
I'm a progressive person. I'm not a liberal for and the leftists. I have an
Okay, you're a
education
progressive person.
on what I do and what I know, and my education is in political science and philosophy
So,
about politics and about government.
so
I am
Fox,
a proper person to be talking to you about this.
so okay, a progressive person.
Progressive, sure.
Sure, that's fine. I'll use progressive on you. Anything else?
About what?
Oh, anything. We're gonna do
We were talking about the words being used in your post.
illegal.
We were talking about how there was no
You haven't,
answer to Aaron's
you haven't
question.
you haven't changed my mind. I'm going to still use illegal if they enter this
I'm not
country.
here to change your mind. What I'm here is to whoever's watching, help them understand another point of view, a more experienced point of view.
I will,
Correct? Because I've actually worked in the industry and I've actually worked with these people and I've actually studied this as my education.
in
Does
Oregon.
that count? Does that? I didn't study political science in Oregon. I live here because of my job. Period.
I'm saying that we're living it. You're in Oregon.
But I'm living in Oregon because of my job.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're living the crisis. You're in Oregon.
My family lives in Brownsville.
They're living the crisis.
There's no crisis there.
Oh,
There's a
yes.
humanitarian crisis. It's not an immigration
There's
crisis.
a lot of crisis going on down here. All right, we're
I
going
mean,
to do.
you can believe what you want to believe it, but I'm here to try to spread truth and what is actually happening and what I know and my experiences and the proper rhetoric that needs to be used when it comes to talking about undocumented immigrants coming from Central America or anywhere else, because it is not okay to be dehumanizing these people and spreading fear and spreading hate. Is that correct?
That we're spreading hate.
Your post helps spread hate and fear about people coming into this country.
I just stated facts based on what the city of
It is,
Brownsville reported.
but you didn't state the context, and the context matters. Just like another person in that
You-
post, context matters because there's more people in Brownsville or in the valley that are testing
and
positive for COVID.
y'all can read into anything any which way you want. And let me tell you again, the only one that was offensive, the only one that was upset on that post was you, bro. Because I mean,
I'm explaining to you why. I'm
well,
explaining to you why.
If your feelings were hurt, I mean, I'm sorry that your
Nobody's feelings are hurt. Nobody's feelings are hurt. No. That's not what's happening here.
Why were you
I'm
upset?
here. Because I'm telling you because you're using hate and fear, and I don't want that to be happening in my community.
But you're in Oregon.
It's still my community, Erasmo.
Okay, it's fine. So you're upset. You were upset because of what people were stating.
I'm passionate about the subject. I'm passionate about treating people correctly. I'm passionate about treating people correctly and humanely.
So
that starts with rhetoric.
You weren't upset on the post.
I was passionate. Just like I'm talking to you right now.
Is it just
that's
a word?
How I'm typing?
Passionate? So now it's passionate. So okay, passionate is a good word too. Okay,
yes,
so
because anger is not what I'm feeling. Hate is not what I'm feeling.
So you were passionate on that post.
Yes.
Okay, good. So it got a reaction from you.
Of course it did, because you're spreading fear and hate about these people.
That's your opinion. So, but it initiated dialogue. Dialogue is good, no? It gives you an opportunity.
Of course, deliberation and dialogue is what I learned in my studies.
Great.
That's why I'm here.
So then it's a good thing because it offers you a venue, an opportunity to educate folks. Is that correct?
Correct.
Awesome. So then it was a good post.
Nobody's denying that deliberation and communication and dialogue is correct. Awesome. I'm not saying your post was good. I never said that. When I'm saying your post spread fear and hate, and
Well,
that is my opinion, but that's what I read into it.
don't you see it as an
People who
opportunity?
are responding in your post, the people that are responding in your post
But
are using what you posted to
with
spread
your
hate
advanced,
and fear.
with your advanced knowledge in political science and your great experience in illegals coming over, so didn't you see that as a great opportunity to educate people in a passionate way?
Sure, some people do not talk to me in a very respectful way, though,
So
and
mission,
you know that, and you see that.
so it was a mission accomplished. It was great.
I'm not sure. I mean, I do what I can, just like Aaron does whatever he can to educate people on the post.
And let me say, I appreciate, and I mentioned a little bit. I said, I appreciate your opinion. I can respect your opinion. We just have to learn to respect other people's opinions, as harsh as we may think that they are. It's still America, even under a Biden administration.
Nobody's saying I'm disrespecting people's opinion. Nobody's saying I'm just. All I was asking of you is to answer Aaron's post response, which you still haven't, and other people who are replying to me, attacking me without me telling them anything.
What's
I'm
funny?
gonna respond.
What's funny, Irvin? The kid Aaron came out and said, "Guys, this went somewhere that I didn't mean it to go."
It always does when it comes to these
Because
posts because people start talking about other things.
you took it somewhere that it shouldn't have
It wasn't
gone.
just me, sir. It wasn't just me.
I mean, you were the number one protagonist in that play.
Sure.
Which is
Sometimes what happens is you use people say to
I'm not
expose their beliefs, to
I'm
expose
not asking you on it.
their prejudices. That's what I'm
I'm
doing.
not asking you on it. But again, even Aaron, because you say, well, you never answered. Well, even Aaron said, guys, this went somewhere I didn't even think it was going to go.
Yeah, but he still is waiting for your answer, by the way.
But that was because y'all let it that way. Como que si
And
está buscando
that's fine.
a reaction.
I'm
And then
I'm looking for an answer from
and then
you.
once you get
Aaron
the
is looking for an answer
I already
from
told you,
you.
I'm going to still use illegal. But then once you get a
No,
reaction,
not an answer of what Aaron posted. An
but
answer
then
of what he posted.
but then once
We're
you get
still waiting on that.
a reaction, then you go like, well, people were bashing me. People,
Nobody's saying people were bashing me. I'm saying what happened. I'm
you
using a
just said
fact.
that. You just said that people were after
People
you.
were attacking me, but I was also responding, right? I'm not
Exactly.
saying people were bashing me. People I don't know were using that post to talk to me without me knowing them and telling me disrespectful things, talking to me in not very respectful ways.
But you started it. You went
I
down.
started talking to you.
You led the conversation down that path.
I replied to people
People
talking to
fit
me.
into it and go like, this guy's upset. And we
I
don't
replied to people talking to me.
we don't have to get upset when we dialogue, bro. I'm not upset with it.
I just told you that I got passionate in the post because it's a passion of mine because I used
No,
to
you're
work
upset.
in that industry.
You could use the word passion. That could be a great word. That's
I
awesome, man.
can.
I appreciate that. I'll try to use that también. I mean, I have no problem with passionate. I do have a problem with people being called, they're migrants when they're actually crossing the border without the proper legal documentation to be in the United States. Then I'm still going to call them illegal. That's my right.
And that's your right to use your opinion and your words to do whatever you want. And also my right to tell you that it is a slur and that it is becoming a
That's your
dehumanizing term.
that's your opinion. I can respect that, man.
Sure, but what I'm saying is also the government is also doing the same thing, and that is changing its language because of it.
Thank you for bringing someone that is very knowledgeable, 100% all the time. Uh, let me see if there's any questions for you before we is he currently engaged in corruption? No, I don't think that, not at all. Yes, he is correct about the numbers during the Trump administration during 2020, April 2020. 100%. That's exactly what came out in the newspaper today. Are these asylum seekers fingerprinted and photo ID'd? I'm going to say yes. The borders are open, especially for the influx of asylum seekers.
Borders are not open. Borders are not open.
Interesting. 100%. Erasmo, you have said that the Brownsville Herald lies. Now they don't. No. Again, I'm saying that those are the numbers. Again, Tony, those are the numbers that came out in the Herald, and the argument was that Ervin stated that we should trust the numbers. I said, okay, well, we'll trust the numbers. The numbers state that there has been a great influx of individuals that have come in from September on to February.
Since 2020, April.
Something like that. Law right now is, I think it's September, actually, the date that the Herald mentioned.
Sure,
Right,
but what I'm telling you is it's been since April.
yeah, they mentioned the previous numbers, and they weren't as high as these.
It's a steady increase of people coming in since April.
Yeah,
that's a surge since April.
No,
that's
right,
it. That
no.
I have the chart right in front of me. That's what you call a surge. I worked in the surge since 2014, 2015. I've been part of that. I know what
Yeah,
a surge looks like.
no, there's a lot more people coming over now than ever
It's
before.
part of the same surge.
Yeah, no,
Part of the same surge.
no, I don't think so. Right now, it's anyone.
Okay, people. This is what you're saying is not true. I don't know.
Well, again, the numbers that the Herald that the trusty Herald had posted up there state something different. But again, we could go back to look at the numbers
I
another day.
have the numbers right in front of me. It's been since April 2020.
Right now, is anyone coming documentation is illegal. Why not go with this law then?
I'll reply. I actually will reply to that. You know who dismantled the asylum process in Central America? Trump did. They eliminated any process where people from Central America can apply for asylum in home country.
Hey, Rod, te mando saludos. Rob, te manda saludos. Bravo Herald is our local touchstone. I suggest your guests should research local information before claiming to trust the government. Yeah, I don't trust the government. He's wrong on the numbers. Is he an immigration lawyer? No.
I used to be an immigration paralegal. My wife is an immigration lawyer.
Yeah. So senators going against Biden because of his decisions about the border are wrong. I think they're actually on point. I'm trying to catch up to the comments. Oh my God, we are a little bit on the behind side. Oh, man, I haven't seen this many comments in a while. So then they are illegal immigrants. Sorry, guys. When you can change the Webster dictionary, then we can call them immigrants. Webster calls it illegal immigrants. This guy is part of the participation award era. You
I
don't
actually want a lot of things in my day.
you don't accept when everyone, but accept everyone means to dehumanize people when they say that word illegal. Yes, they're human. My father's wife came here and right away. She's no more human than the crossing the wrong way. It has zero to do with anything other than the fact that they are not cleared or vetted. Administration made an election promise, and now the promise must be met. It's that simple. This cancel culture, where the words that, according to the American Webster Dictionary, illegal aliens are those that enter a country without permission. So Webster is wrong. Now that you support Biden wanting to do away with it, so be it. So he calls these humans from other countries coming to America are called immigrants. Got it. Immigrants. Get the sorry. Words have been around forever. Illegal is offensive. Yep. Cancel culture. Nope. He came to convert.
I'm just telling you what I know, guys.
That's what. Good evening. Why all of a sudden is it a crime to move to another country for a better life? Our grandparents did that. Our parents did that too. But now we get butthurt because we are grown citizens. Again, Mario, I think my stance on it is my grandparents did it, went through a process, and I think if your grandparents went through a process, people went through a process. That's all we ask. People go through a process. Does he think that he is best vested in this topic? Doesn't listen to reason. Buenas noches, saludos, Nazareo. He profits from it is his job, so how can he be impartial? His opinion.
I don't work in the immigration industry anymore.
If people cross the river without permission, are illegal. Simple as that. Slur is a bad name. Illegal or undocumented is not a slur.
No, illegal is a slur, not undocumented.
I don't think so. You're calling all of them illegal, though, even asylum seekers. Me personally, I'm calling anyone that crosses the border without documentation illegal.
And you're wrong, Erasmo.
Not. Hollywood is illegal. Everything is offensive now. They've entered the marshmallow era.
Not everything's offensive.
His logic is the only logic. Illegal isn't a slur. I don't.
I mean, you all can prove it with some of your logic. So I'm waiting for that.
My Elotero got fined for being an illegal seller. That's offensive. He's an undocumented seller because he doesn't have the health department permit. Makes sense though. Manny, he is in the cancel culture. This guy offends us. Don't hurt his feelings. These terms that have around forever, now they are hurtful. Passion, bull, don't mess with his job. Biden is wanting to change illegal to undocumented. Hasn't happened though, so they are illegal aliens.
It's changing though. There's a process.
God help us. Of course they are illegal.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Be considered illegal? Yeah.
The natives, yeah.
That was over. Yeah, up north they would call you as that. Let me tell you,
It is a slur. It
it,
is a slur.
that one is a slur. I mean, I was called a beaner growing up. I actually didn't mind it because I loved.
People can call you come over here, maybe people might call you illegal too, and that's a slur.
Well, you know what's funny? When I was I think I was like 14 years old, 13 years old. I went to Paragould, Arkansas, with some members of the church, and went to visit some some viejitos out there, from the church. And one of the viejitas tells the Geraldine, the person that I was staying with, he said, "Oh, Geraldine, I went to Mexico and I didn't bring me back no Mexican boy." And I'm going like, I was I was born here. I was born here, but that mindset, Mexican boy, crazy stuff. Immigration should have a process to come into America, just like my parents. Yeah,
There is a process.
yeah, there should be a process. That's what
No,
you
there is. There is a process.
move along. 100%. It is a start to him. What up? Nah, nah. The term illegal immigrant was first used in 1939 as a slur by British towards Jews who were fleeing the Nazis and entering Palestine without authorizations. The question is, can you call folks illegal if they're already in the legal process?
No,
Uh, yes.
no,
It's until they finalize their process, they
no.
move from being illegal into legal.
However much you want, how many times you want it, that's not true.
Good night. It's a vocabulary show tonight. Sorry, guys.
That matters, guys.
Yeah.
And rhetoric and words, they matter.
If you break the law, you have committed an illegal offense. That is a fact.
Yeah, if you break the law, you committed a legal offense. Coming
Fact.
into this country is not a crime,
It is
guys.
a crime. Without the proper
It's an it's not a because these people are not sent to jail. When you commit a crime, you get sent to jail.
They should be
These
deported.
people are not.
Anyone that enters this country without the proper legal documentation should be sent back to the country.
That is not the process that is in place.
If it isn't, it
Go
should.
to your representative. If you don't agree with the laws, you go to your representative and you try to change the laws through legislation.
So, open borders then.
Nobody's saying over borders. Nobody has ever claimed
All across
open borders. That's a right-wing political talking point.
No human being is illegal. Illegal aliens. I think we all need to be educated on how the terminology should be used and the process. Ya me
Yes,
dolió.
perfect.
Hombre. It's been fun. Oh boy, this is this is the world. Forget the part of geography. Take about
I
Oregon.
don't know what that means.
I give this debate a 3.
There's not much of a debate here.
It's not a debate. We're just spreading appreciation. Love you, Sylvia. Let's do lunch tomorrow. Ryan is going to send them back. No, Brit, shut up. If they're cleared to come here, no. If they're not, then they're illegal. If they have your learner's permit and you drive without a driver's license, you're breaking the law.
Yeah, you're breaking the law. It's a crime here. To pass without documents is not a crime.
It's illegal. Being halfway there doesn't make you a legal driver. I love.
It's not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges when you're talking about those things.
It's pineapple.
No, I'm not. I'm not referring to the kind of. I'm saying people are describing crimes that are committed in the country to coming into the country without documents. It's not the same thing. They're not. They're not equal.
I think Don Pineapple is actually an illegal alien. That's Abrazo. We all know very little. Our majority Mexican Americans. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's a given, my man. Ay Dios. The term illegal, when used with the people who attempted to enter the country without proper documentation or with the intent to avoid inspection, is correct. Illegal entry has both criminal and civil penalties. In the word illegal is used to both documented in criminal and civil law as used in the immigration statutes. That's a lot of words. It's just a word. Orgigon. I don't know what that
There
means.
were a lot of trolls on your show, man.
Actually, this is a good comment, man. I don't know why you would call it a troll. It's actually
This is the same people over and over, just commenting stuff.
no. This is a different individual. This is the first time.
No, this one, yeah, the other one, no.
Man, illegal is the proper term. We don't care if you get offended because facts just don't care about your feelings.
I mean, if you want to explain to me how it's not a slur, then by all means. I've been asking people to do that, and even Erasmo kind of explains to me why it's not a slur, only because he doesn't want it to be.
I mean, illegal is illegal. Everyone who says illegal means to dehumanize. How do you know how each person means to say the word? Yeah, let me
It
tell
is
you.
a common common term used. That's why.
Look up illegal entry. It's not undocumented entry. ¿Y quién es este? ¿Quién lo mandó a que? Oh, get over yourself. Ya me voy.
You
No, don't go. Get him off. He's going. No, I like Urban. Is there a millennial dictionary or Webster dictionary? How dare you use the word hurt? Sorry. I Irvin's a good guy. Actually, guest pet gets paid. Sacal.
nope.
Why do you invite such a conceited person? Oh, guys, let's be nice. Sylvia, I'm not. I'm for immigration, but this guy's Sylvia. Let's do lunch tomorrow, baby. She's my girl. Get. So those illegal caravans. No, you look good. Don't worry. Caravans are migrants. No,
They
families
are
rich.
migrants. They are migrants coming in groups.
No, illegal aliens. His family is rich. What do they care until it hits them where they live? I don't know if his family is rich. My family is not rich. If you were enter the United States without a legal document, you are an illegal immigrant. That is a fact. This guy doesn't even live in Brazil. No, he doesn't. Actually, this guy's just converted me to vote Republican. Mission accomplished, Sherman. I live
There are
in
a lot
Brazil.
of people. There are a lot of Hispanic and Mexican individuals who are, for some reason, going to vote Republican nowadays. So
Don
this is a credit
Pineapple.
thing.
I live in Brownsville. There's no crisis. Don Pineapple, you are a Brownsville crisis. Don't pineapple. I know you. You are a Brownsville crisis. Truth is the last thing. He is pretty good. How about the Anglo-American settlers who crossed into Texas without permission in 1930s, 830s, be considered illegal or terrorist? Both. Speaking of Oregon. Hey, that's what. Just curious on something. You keep telling some people to stay home and not travel, but you're planning on it
It's
through.
it's 8 o'clock, and that's why I have to jet.
All right, man. God bless. I appreciate you, man. And come by anytime you ever want to come by, just share opinion. Please do so, man. I greatly appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
God bless, Papa.
Bye.
Erasmo, just curious or something. Just keep telling people to stay home. No, I don't. I don't keep on telling people to stay home. Keep on telling people every single day. Social distance. There's a difference. Again, I have been against the stay-at-home thing. Since it started, Colombia. I mean, I've never liked it. I've been very, very adamant and very, very forthright in regards to we were going to worship. We were not going to stay at home on Sunday morning. We were going to go worship. I've never said stay home. I'm saying if you can stay home at the peak when they were asking for us to stay home, sure, stay home. But I've never said stay home. I've said is social distance. With that said, Colombia, uh, I'm not going to go to Peru. Actually, they have a 17 guys. If you're on a YouTube channel, before you leave, click on that like or dislike if you want. They're actually asking in Peru for a 14-day quarantine. I do not want to be quarantined for 14 days. So Peru trip is postponed. Whoever this nobody is, he's a good guy. Stop it. They're coming by the thousands in an area you don't live in. They're people. They need to come here the right way. No one hates these folks. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone hates the people that are coming over. We just want everyone to come through the process. He's passionate about keeping his job, fear of losing his job for his attention. The only crisis in Brazil fearing losing their spot economically to asylum seekers. Uh, Maybe. Uh, One of the things that I will say, Mario Eduardo, is one of the things that Irvin did mention is a lot of these people aren't necessarily coming to stay in Brownsville. They're moving on up. Passionate is good, but we need the passionate with our people first, 100%. So, Erasmo, your words are going to bring fear, and no one will want to come here illegally. I guess they're Central Americans all have social media, see your show, and read warnings. Who does the post scare? Who upsets liberals and who doesn't? ¿Qué tienes, güey? Yeah, Erasmo, just agree with Oregon, move on. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This boy is a good example of the leftist. Uh, I'm a Mexican American born in the United States. Term is it legal? Does that make me racist? No. Don't hurt his feelings. He is sensitive. No. Oh, poor he got. No, he didn't. Erasmo, dile las cosas como son, porfa. Good evening. Good evening. The news article was Port Arthur has second worst. Are they going through a humanitarian crisis? Look, I'm not. I didn't say that we were the most miserable city necessarily because of the humanitarian crisis. I'm saying that it's just part of it. It's not a. It's a fact. Passion is excuse. Bash opposite view. Nope. I think it's worse slurs. We are educated brothers. We don't have needed us to influence us, Mr. Immigration Lawyer. He gives us hope for a better future, a kinder, more passionate planet. Amen. I look. I agree, guys. Let me tell you, I appreciate Irving coming over. Great guy. Don't agree. Facts don't agree with your feelings. 100%. I'm retired border patrol agent. The definition is illegal alien. 100%. Precisely, cat. Cat. According to the asylum policy of the United Nations, people are supposed to ask for asylum in the country next to their country. Central America is next to Mexico, not the United States. Please follow the law according to the United Nations. They are not following the law. No, they are illegal. The guest knows more than the herald because he is part time. I want what an alien by definition is someone who owns no allegiance to this country and is not a citizen of this country. Yeah, we even call guys. We even call permanent residents. We call them resident aliens, or we don't anymore. To be continued to 30 behind the mic. Guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm cat didn't get to. Yeah, it's crazy. Later on, they're going to start to remove every single word out there. Everything is offensive now. Everything is offensive, guys. My hour is up, guys. And again, we planned to be with Irvin for a good 15, 20 minutes, but time got up. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, I apologize that I didn't get to all the comments, my guys. I truly apologize. We'll continue the conversations tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. We are going to talk about PUB. One of the PUB board members actually did have a conversation with him. We'll go over that. We will also go over the numbers and of course PUB tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, Manny will be on at 10:30. 10:30. Go watch Manny behind the mic, and I'm sure that they're going to talk about the subject. I just dropped my iPad, guys. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your time, and again, thank you, Irving, man. Hey, man, he came on, good sport, and we had a conversation. And conversations are good. Dialogue is good, guys. And I appreciate him coming over. Thank you so very very much, Irving, Alberto Irving, and you're welcome to come on anytime. Let's have some more discussion. Guys, have a great evening, guys. Great show. Great show. Great evening. Stay strong, stay safe, social distance. I'm not saying stay home, social distance, face coverings, hand sanitizer, guys. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, be here. We'll continue the conversation, guys. I love you all. God bless. Stay safe. Guys, be good to each other. And please continue to be good to me. God bless.